Okay. Yo, let's go.
All right.
So this is Mega Man ZX, originally released on the Nintendo DS way back when. That's why you've got a little bottom right touchscreen there. I'm not actually sure what console is playing this on specifically, but I'm assuming this is the Zero Collection. Came out at the beginning of 2020, and it includes ZX and ZXA, thus making ZX and ZXA streamable without the aid of a DS capture card. What is this game itself? If you're familiar with the Mega Man Zero series from the Game Boy Advance, they killed off Zero because they didn't want to make any more Zero games. But it turned out we wanted more Zero games. So this is, in a lot of ways, kind of Zero 5. And our plot here, well, X and Zero are really, really sort of long gone-ish right now. And there's a boss here I guess I should say something about. Whatever. I mean, it is exactly what you see here. Getting through this stage pretty fast, you just kind of manipulate the boss into shooting those acid, and then when you jump up, the full charged buster just tags it, and good fight.
And I know there are some RNG manipulations that can be done. Basically, I know the RNG resets itself basically every time the screen fades. But what types of shots are used, basically everything can actually change what the RNG does.
It's true. There's a lot of RNG manipulation in these Zero series. So what basically happened there was touched, I think those are still called transservers, and selected a new mission. The mission here was to so I guess we should talk about the plot a little bit here.
It's probably a good thing.
I guess. So Vent and Ale are they're actually just special delivery folks. And they had this mysterious package that turned out to have this thing called a biometal in it, which basically makes them like Mega Man Power Rangers or something, and that's why you see X running around the screen right now. And so, you know, you could basically unmorph, take off the super abilities or whatever, and that lets you crawl, because I guess we don't have a slide. They try to make a lot of that thing where, oh, you have to be human to crawl under here. The townsfolk are scared of you if you're a robot because they think you're part of the resistance or something. But yeah, dashing and jumping is good, so we're going to keep doing that for speed. We have met up with the resistance here because I think it's... what is the name of the place? It's not even Neo Arcadia anymore. It's just the government or something.
Yeah.
And, well, it's the Serpent Corporation is just, like, doing weird things, and we don't like them. Also, shouts to Mario Kart.
Yeah, the random cart there.
I think there's a Battle and Chase Rush cart somewhere else in here, too.
I do believe you're right.
So... this is our secret mission to discover the resistant members by crawling under buildings, I guess. That's where we meet people with giant jaws. And at this point, we can go back to a transceiver and turn in the mission. The reason we came actually to town first is we get two options for our first mission. And by the way, this is... I'm not sure who else can read the text here. I believe in the English version you get a stuffed rabbit or a stuffed teddy bear. And we're told to return it to the commander. But we go here, we turn in the mission, we take our new mission, and the routing here, because this one's not a teleporting one, we go into Area D and use that to get to Area B2, to where the boss of Area B is. And at this point, I just want to call out that this game has a nice interconnected map that still manages to have a couple of like stage-like constructs within it. But beyond that, the most infuriating thing about this game is the lack of an in-game menu. That's probably its one major weakness.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's pretty easy to get lost if you're not super sure on where you're going sometimes.
So you talked about the RNG a minute ago, and we just skipped a cutscene which resets the RNG.
We did.
Let's see if Concert is going to do it here. This boss, I think, drops things based a little bit on your position and your hit points. And all right, we're just doing the 4 cycle. So you kind of saw the totem there, and you blow up the one with the red glowy core, and that pops the rest into the air. That hits the ship, and it does, because it has effectively 2 life meters, it does a quarter of its hit points in damage. There is a 3-cycle version of this fight that relies on the RNG of your buster shot flying off to the side, which isn't really RNG at all. But you basically get the pink tails, which are separate spirally damage things. Once the blue core is gone, they're not orbiting anything anymore. They kind of spin off on their own, and you can use that to do extra damage to it with the pink shot, and it's just enough to make it a 3-cycle fight. It's pretty precise, though, and it's very easy to end up in a 5-cycle fight when... So, we're welcomed into headquarters now. Welcome to the airship. It's Area X, because Mega Man X, I guess. Our boss is here, our delivery boss. Turns out our delivery boss has the 0 biometal. We have the X biometal. And like any self-respecting Mega Man X game, I guess we have to have a highway stage. This elevator simply doesn't work until this point in the game. You can come here and you can't get past it. So we are going to get a heart tank there. Hooray for extra life. That is not required, I think, for anything specific. It's just a nice safety that's kind of in your way anyway. Or at least minimally off the path. I think there's 4 of those life upgrades in the game. You know what do you hate most about the highway stage, Rowdy?
The bees.
Not the bees. I thought we left those behind in 21 XDX.
No, we just recolored them.
Got much clearer pincers now, at least.
That's true.
Good night. You might be seeing like a little gray CD case. I don't know what else to call them. Data disc things. Those are collectible things through the game that just gives you enemy lore. I don't think they have any mechanical effect on the game. So don't mind us not picking them up. Mega Man X, all right.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So we actually arrive here at Serpent headquarters. There was Serpent himself until we skipped the cutscene, and he did a thing. And our boss here, who has the 0 medal, is now like possessed, insane, whatever. But he has a preset pattern, so I'm just gonna stand here and pummel him with the buster. Hey, we did it. And there was a cutscene there where our mentor kind of like gave his energy to save the 0 biometal for whatever. 0 metal did a fusion dance, and now we're Mega Man ZX. And this is basically Mega Man 0 from the 0 games.
Yeah. And this is kind of where the run really kind of takes off. A lot of the other movement tech for this run starts appearing now.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, there's some things we'll see every time. Normally in a Mega Man X game or anything after, when you go to kick off a wall, there's that knockback. We're not going to be seeing a lot of that. Every time you basically fire a weapon off, you're going to skip that animation and be able to just kind of climb the wall.
Today I learned. So again, just a lot of where do we go? the mission kind of tells you like go to area E, go to area F, and you're just kind of looking at the screen like where is that even? Knowing the game a little bit, you can kind of honestly, the first time you play this game, just take a map that tells you which area goes to which other area, and if you have no other hints, just take that with you. I believe we're going to the power plant here in area E1. It's conveniently labeled on the door. So from here on out, most of the areas most of them are stages in their own right, with minimal connections to other things. There's a couple of big ones, but usually they just go into themselves or they loop. We are in sort of an abandoned power plant. There's a trash compacting stuff. We're dodging. Oh no, it's a stage. Now, when you're first picking up this game, you're kind of meant to find the power switch for the whole power plant so you can turn all these off. I think the path that goes there is if you stay all the way up top through this very section. But that's slow. So we get to deal with traps the whole time.
You got to see some of the ways that movement tech I mentioned was used. Basically, Concert just decided to saber slash his way up a wall instead of even having to kick jump off of it. So you'll see that quite a bit.
Concert grabbed a sub-tank up there on the top, just a quick safety that, again, minimally out of the way. This is our favorite mid-boss, Giant Crane. The way the Zero games worked is there's a combo system. Enemies might show that they have iframes, but generally, if you can kind of get successive hits with the right combination of weapons, they'll just keep taking damage. This mid-boss doesn't even really have iframes anyway. So we're just kind of setting things up so that we can do everything possible. Just get all this damage in and get out of here. Just moving right along. So we have a lot of the cyber elves from the Zero series in the background. That's weird. What's that doing here? But we move on. Mm-hmm. Ooh. All right, that's a good health drop. So actually, Concert just did a really cool thing there. Large drops in this series, if you slash them, will break into 4 smaller drops of different types. So when you see big energy crystal drops, you can actually like cut it up and start getting health drops. Falling platforms. And that health drop is good because you just heard a sub-tank fill up. And Zero Series sub-tanks are actually really good. If you fill up your health with a sub-tank and there's still health in the tank, it stays in the tank. Unlike the X games. How about bosses in the series?
Yeah, and like the Zero series, you'll notice the whole multi-hit bar thing. It's not a single health bar if you're used to some of the more classic Mega Man games. So there's more health to go through.
Yeah. Bosses honestly need more health just the way you can slash and get these combos in. The only problem is if you're not used to that, it can be painful the first few times. Level 4 finish, actually really good here. Rowdy, what does level 4 finish even mean? I can talk what it means. It's okay.
Sure, go ahead. You dig.
So, when you kill a boss in this series, in the ZX game specifically, you get its bio-medal. So we can now become Model H. And that gives us, if you've played the Zero games, there was the green one, I forget its name, but it's kind of this aerial lightning elemental type robot. And we can turn into that. We have a lightning attack now. It's kind of cool. We have a little meter for it as well. And that meter, we have a couple of like charge attacks with it that do interesting things, and it uses that meter. We have an overdrive capability too, which is actually really important because it lets us do a lot of damage faster. But how much meter do you get? There's actually 2 air elemental type bosses in this game. and each one gives us half of the potential meter. But the way they did it was when you're having that fight with the boss, there's certain weak spots. And that boss's weak spot were kind of those like green claw wings flying. At least I think that's one of them. If you hit them, you'll see this like big red flash on the screen. It looks really cool because it's like, yeah, I'm doing extra damage. And I think you actually do extra damage. You also damage the biometal and have less meter for your special attacks with it when you pick it up. And so if you don't do any damage, or I think maybe you have like 1 or 2 hits to give, you'll get a level 4 finish. And the higher the level of the more meter you get. So especially with the Model H, we want to get a pair of level 4 finishes to get as much meter as possible for the end game. You can use the energy crystals, the little like kind of clearish blue diamonds, to go back to headquarters and repair the biometals. And that will also give you more meter. But why do that when you can just, kill the boss properly?
Especially when this is a speed run.
Speed run where they force us to go through this highway stage again. The most depressing thing about this actually is we left this area because of a cutscene earlier, and literally like 10 steps away from here where we just fought Model 0 earlier, there's a door and there's a checkpoint we could have teleported to. If only it let us do that. Because by the plot, that's how they got out of here.
Right.
Whatever. And that's why we were able to explain things. You might have noticed too that we just went through a yellow door. The door to Area E was also a yellow door. After you fight Model Z and get ZX, do get the yellow key, and that lets you actually enter some of these areas. So this is Model H. So we have an up dash. We have this like double sword slash. You can kind of see a little bit of the green meter there. That should be half the total possible green meter. And when we kill the second air boss later, we'll get the other half of it. This game follows kind of a rock, paper, scissors with elements of wind works on fire, fire works on ice. I think that's how it works, and ice works on lightning. So that's your triangle of destiny. So our goal here is we're going to keep talking to people, get them to evacuate the fire area because fire is bad. And kind of like we were talking about earlier, the game tries to enforce that mechanic of normal humans that don't know about the resistance and the biometals are really afraid of robots. So we have to transform into a human to say, you should, leave.
Even if we have to do it right in front of them, when they should see that, we weren't a human a little bit ago.
I know, right? But it is what it is. There's a certain threshold for this, and I forget exactly how many humans you need to get out of here or whatever it is, but speedrun route, once you got it, those are the ones you want to get. Literally charging through fire to save a morph animation. I'm going to keep calling it morphing because I don't know what else to call it, because these are basically like Power Ranger Mega Man. The game actually even says we're all Mega Mans. We're all Mega Mans, and it's kind of a weird translation, but let's roll with it. So that gentleman gave us a key to I think it's the actual top room. And from here we can cross kind of across the building to the other room. You're meant to see this giant perilous chasm and say, no, this is crazy. We're not doing that. Or you could just do that. You get the air dash with Model HX and that hover. You put them together. And there's even ways to make that jump a lot safer, even though that was pretty safe. And we just got to get through the rest of this. I'm trying to tell if those were overdrive slashes, or they were. There was a little damage boost to not get knocked back by the flames, so we just charge right over the top there. Now, this will be the first boss where we can actually use overdrive. So if you see that meter draining and Model H is kind of shaking, that's it.
And And this is their weakness.
And that was a boss.
Hope you didn't blink.
So, just Overdrive in general just makes... I think that actually activates the elemental property as well, and you just annihilate bosses with that. That was the fire boss. It's kind of annoying to fight without the wind tech. But, yeah. It's over. So, the fire model, FX, has this really neat mechanic. In the bottom right of the screen, that's actually the touchpad for the DS, or it's at least representative of it. You can actually configure how the shot gets fired. There's two arms, they both shoot fire, and you can give two different paths. Each one's assigned to a different button to shoot. So I know sometimes it's easier to set something up where like the shot goes up like 3 or 4 tiles before going to the right, and you can use that in certain situations to make your life for aiming a lot easier. There's the rush cart. Oh. So beating the fire boss, we actually got the red key, unless it's Kino. We're gonna do now for some reason. At the end of the day, like you can do, once you get one half of the medal, you generally gain access to the other half of the medal stage. And I believe it's after 4 stages you get kind of a intermission midway boss. We're going right here to get the other half of the fire model. Let's go.
Yep.
So this stage is actually a hard stage. This mid-boss is weird. There we go. I can almost see like one reason to come here is to make sure you have meter in HX. Because I don't think you get it back between stages. You'd have to farm it up. It's just nice to be able to take out that mid-boss, you know, without too much trouble. So I'm pretty sure acid is instant kill, right? Unless you have iframes or something. You don't want to be in the acid. Hopefully we won't even see it. We're being chased by a giant wave of lava right now. I said acid, I meant lava. Work with me.
Things that ultimately cause death.
It's bad. Yeah. That cement is hard to dash through. So, like, that's the gimmick of this whole stage, is you have to be able to move fast even without true speedrun strats. So, dancing through lava. Pretty sure the lava pillars themselves are lava that kills you instantaneously too. So this stage is fun. Conster made it look easy. Good job. Mole boss.
Yep, so we have Flame Mole here.
Level
and again,
3.
as you saw, the weakness from the HX chip in this one.
Kind of heard that one little like that was where that's where we damaged the biometal by hitting the weak spot. But honestly, level 3 kills are just fine for our purposes. I'm not sure if jumping into a transformation is faster. I'm not the biggest expert on this game. On just pretty much like every game series out there, there is a Discord full of people that are very knowledgeable of this game and are extremely helpful when picking this game up. That might be a good question for them later, honestly. It definitely looks cool though. Area B. This is the way if you choose the go find that airship first mission a while ago, you have to go through this whole stage to get to where you get model, well, you get into that fight at least, and then you have a harder path into town. And that's why we do it this way. There's a back and forth climb up a mountain, zigzagging up the slope, or you can do this. What are we doing? There we go. So this is the ice area. So Model F has this nice fire and punching ability, which is great for this whole area, using a little bit of the overdrive tech there to just get the actual elemental property of fire on the shot, so destroy the ice wall, even though we're literally shooting fireballs. That's fine.
Even underwater.
And underwater. We're shooting fire underwater, but yeah.
Damage boost there. And then...
Jump button, where are you? That's why I didn't know that was there. Spikes are still spikes, even in the distant future of the Mega Man universe. Because I think at this point we're in like 24, 25 XDX.
Sounds about right.
This is long enough after the Zero series that the Earth has covered and there's actual civilization again. So we have more mountain climbing here. And we're going to let Model F take care of most of it. We are going to grab that weapon refill. One of the nice things about Model F is you can shoot straight up. Regardless of that bottom right thing that right now just kind of says shoot straight ahead. You can shoot up. Even when you've reconfigured things, you're able to shoot up. Whoops. So the bad thing about missing that jump and falling down is that enemy's just going to keep respawning.
Right.
Does that qualify as an iceless jump?
I think so. I would say so. I mean,
Okay.
we don't have shotgun ice.
Very true. Hey, it's our favorite mid-boss. Just get right in its face and go nuts. You win the damage war. So that was the actual plot disc. We're finding out like little bits and pieces of the game and backstory here, which honestly I forget a lot of.
I mean, let's be honest. This is a speedrun. We're not here for the story.
It's true. Don't die, Conster. This door was locked until we picked up that data disc earlier.
And as you saw, didn't need the full sub-tank on the health refill there, so we did get to maintain some of it.
The ice physics jumps underwater are probably the wonkiest jumps in this entire game. And fortunately, that's the only one of them. So, this is sort of our giant anglerfish type boss. I think if you hit the head, that's the spot. Look at that.
Another level 4 finish.
Easy. So now we have model LX. I want to say the Mega Man Zero series, Leviathan something. I don't think she's actually named Leviathan.
I believe it's Larir.
Let's go with that.
I'm probably saying that wrong, but I think the boss here was Larir.
Oh, yeah, that boss, Larir.
Right.
Yeah, they got their letters in order.
Yeah. And so that being 4 bosses, Concer's now going to make his way to do the kind of middle area. And in this case, that's going to be to fight Prometheus.
And they are coming here for a Resistance headquarters airship. So let's go. These are kind of the weirdest deployment capsule devices I think I've ever seen, but sure. It is the future.
Even though in all that time, all these airships still kind of look like the ones from X4 with Storm Owl.
They look like the ones from X4. They look like the ones from Zero
From
Two.
8. They look like the ones from Mega Man 8.
Mega Man 8? Yeah. It's all Tengu Man's fault. I don't think you could completely tell there, but there was some alternating of which firing just to get some more shots off and do it a little bit faster. Mind the gaps. There's one. I said mind the gap.
We just told you, Conster.
Wow. All right, we'll do it again. Those jumps actually are pretty annoying. There are those little mooks on the other side. And that's why you see Concert kind of shooting ahead, trying to take them out. And then those gaps just sort of appear, and it's really annoying. So I'm used to coming here with 2 model HX parts, which lets you use the super secondary secret attack. So let's see what happens. Yeah, he doesn't like whatever Concert just did.
Not at all.
Not at all, my goodness. Let's see how this works. 75% damage. What? So yeah, Overdrive is horribly broken in this game.
We wouldn't have it any other way.
That's just fine. This is, you can see even E7, which is the end of the power plant, is just behind this. So it goes straight into air model part 2. We have the Stormy, even more rundown part of the power plant here. Using model FX here, which can destroy blocks. So there's a long kind of weird maze section here that you're supposed to wander through dark sections and all this other stuff, or you could kind of sneak in the back passage over the spikes like Conster just did. You still have to go through a little bit of maze, but it's that much easier. He's going to use model LX for this section, both because you get the bladed weapon that can slice up large drops, and it's what we're going to need to switch to in the end anyway for the boss. You see some, I'm not going to say precise movement here, but at least like some general wall hugging, very make sure we know where we're going movement, because there are spikes and pits in that second room. LX does have a nice little radar for items that's better than the actual radar ability that model PX gives you. There's that.
And I don't think we ever even use PX in this run.
I don't think we do either. So this gives us the ice attack, so that when the hurricane lands, there's the ice sled. I thought you said we didn't have shock. Yes, we didn't at the time.
Not at the time, anyway.
If that's a pretty... That's actually a really nice level 4 kill. It's not that hard. I don't feel like that's a hard one to get, but it's not an easy one either. So we have both level 4s for HX, which is good. And we just freed a bunch of civilians from the back of a power plant that was using a lot of energy that should have been disabled years ago, and that's not scary at all. Although I think Rowdy also said we shouldn't talk about plot too much. It's a speed run. Speed run. Come on, Cabby. Come on.
I'd be more worried about talking about things like that in 2020. As long as we don't influence reality to have anything like that appearing.
So we have 3 robots, the pseudo droid left. We have the second half of Model L, and we have both chunks of Model P. Right. There's another sub-tank that's just kind of hanging out here. Nice, easy to get that one, especially on the way. There's actually one more life drop that's not a life up. That's not too far out of the way. We'll see if we grab that before this is over. Yes. Both Model PXs were up that set of slopes that we just went by. If you've been paying attention, this is the start of the game. And we're just going to go to the left from start. And there's a whole nother area over here. All right, so while we make our way into the... I think Crunchy's got some donation.
I do have some donation-related news. With the end of the Mega Man ZX character incentive, we do in fact have a new bid war that has opened up, and I wanted to make sure everybody knew about it. We have a new one for Metal Gear Solid to save or kill Meryl, or to use its alternative name, Save Meryl or Save Metal Gear Solid's Hands. Which one is it going to be? That's up to all of you, but that one is now available on Tiltify.
Metal Gear Solid, good game. So, Concert's gonna be jumping through this section. Whoa, there's the water dash that Model LX has. That's a scary jump. So LX can basically swim. Of course, Concert's doing this, I'm sure that means swimming. So don't do it. This is a terrible, terrible mid-boss. Not because it's particularly hard, just because it takes some time. So you're trying to get these extra hits in with the overdrive and just make sure it's random which one you get. It's annoying. It's slow. I don't like it.
Thankfully, looks like we got a good pattern on it, so...
Yep.
And yet we still have shrimp robots. They're still here, even after all this time since Mega Man 2.
I think they mostly just never really left. They just kind of were thrown into the ocean and they're still there. So here's a boss. It's a vertical kind of boss with shafts. It kind of hard to jump up. We're going for this kill. Okay. So one of the things you could actually do with this boss as well is just aim straight up from the bottom. But I believe it's a little faster if you do things up on the wall. We're out of meter. That's not bad. That's not good. We're gonna survive. It's not that bad either. The nice thing about this boss is it's really easy to avoid hitting the giant turbines up down its, I guess its shoulders?
We'll go with shoulders.
And those are the weak points, so just don't hit those. Free level 4 kill.
So at this point, that leaves us just with the Model P bosses to hunt down.
So we're going to go this way. Yeah, the Model P bosses, like you said earlier, just not used in this run.
Yeah, so we put them off until the end. But Conster is going to make his way to Area H here.
Taking care of business as we go. Another one of these. Well, you can't crawl into it from the ground. You'll never figure out how to do that. Sort of barriers. And we're back where we started. That room down there is where there is a another life up. But the main reason we came, I think, here first is here's one of these transceivers again, where we can turn in our mission. It's not a teleport one, so it's not incredibly useful. But this is actually not too far away from... By the time we got back to another teleport, we would have passed where we need to go next anyway. Very convenient to kind of turn in this mission there and pick up the next one. Oh. That's why this game is kind of a bring a map with you. There's just...
Yeah.
Who would
There's
even
a lot of travel.
So our next area for Model P is... Phantom in the original Zero series was more like a ninja robot. So we're going to go fight a giant gorilla in an amusement. Makes sense.
Total sense.
Grab the life up.
Because where else do ninjas go but to amusement parks?
I mean, I thought ninjas were mostly banned from amusement parks, though, because their accuracy was too strong for all the crunch.
Maybe not when they're a giant gorilla.
It's true. Shoutouts to Metul Ferris wheel.
It is the best Ferris wheel. Also, shoutouts to some of these roller coasters in the background literally being the longest roller coasters ever.
It's just one giant single roller coaster, isn't it?
I think it is.
Mega Man 5 reference. But we can't let Mega Man 5 have all the power here. We have to bring in Big Met Daddy. So I did mention you got another attack after getting the second half of the Model H. Think we're going to see it?
Yeah, that's it.
That's the Hurricane. It is devastating. Oh, it's Area L. So these cranes are just annoying. This whole area is just kind of really annoying. Bees trying to knock you into the crane, trying to deposit you in the pit. You don't win the prize. You might win a prize, but your prize is death.
What I'm really not sure of is this what we did with Junkman's stage?
Is this Junkman stage?
It's
I don't know if
reminiscent at parts. The pits with the cranes were very reminiscent of Junkman.
That's a good point. That last section. I have that all like wiped out of my memory because all I know is Call Rush Jet in there. Hey, it's a giant gorilla. Remember we said that Hurricane is devastating? I don't know if we're going to see it. We're just seeing more and more damage. You see the life meters flashing red. It's a level 2 kill because we really just don't even care about getting a quality biometal P.
Yeah, it's really not needed, so no reason to have to go for the level 4 finish on these ones.
Convenient transceiver again. Transceiver. To get us going here. Turn in that mission, get the next one, because remember that door we saw to to Area L? That's where we're going. And because of Big Met Daddy, it's actually faster to go backwards through the stage to get there than it is to kind of loop around and come back again from the other side. So yeah, the crane room from the left, honestly not that bad. Because it's kind of designed with the idea that you're coming at all the obstacles from the left. Coming at from the right, you already saw there's that fly just doing its best to knock Concert into the pit. We survived.
You got it. into the panda door.
So this whole long area, yeah, this is just don't fall in a pit, the stage, at least for this section of it. The next one gets a little weirder with these radar dishes. If you shoot them, they kind of stop working for a moment. The blue ones, I think, disable your weapons. So if you get, it's like hitting a red bubble in a Zelda 1 game. If you get tagged by the bubble, you can't attack until just an amount of time passes. So maybe it's a normal bubble, but you get the idea. We're gonna make sure we don't deal with them very often. So you can hear that sound. That means we got tagged by it.
Thankfully, it's just short before you get used to everything back.
So this stage just gets more and more outlandish with the amount of things that goes at you. Just more and more stuff. Don't die. And I'm pretty sure this is where the spike jumps are. Oh man, there's the health drop too. And what's this guy's name? I don't know what the giant tank's name is.
I don't remember either. Thankfully, it really doesn't matter.
We don't really care about preserving Model P, so again, just go nuts. So this is another one of the teleporting ones, way at the back of that secret lab area. This whole area, by the way, was actually supposed to be, what was her name in the Zero series? But this is the scientist's old, wrecked, kind of hidden away laboratory, full of secret data.
Is that CL?
Seal, that's her name. And so now we found out where Model W is. Don't know why they would ever call something W in a Mega Man game.
Why ever?
Will they ever tell us? So of course
Or
we have
will
to.
he ever really go away?
Was he ever really gone? Naturally, the final area is before the starting area. It's actually close to where the ocean section was, so we're gonna go all the way back. So we've got some free time for a minute. Model P is a lot like Phantom, I think. You throw like kunai, like ninja knives, and they're really weak and terrible, so we just don't even touch it. The area where Model W is supposedly sealed away, you need an encrypted password that is split up amongst all the models that supposedly our villain Serpent acquired way back near the beginning of the game, and we've been kind of desperately trying to put them together ourselves so that we can open this door and listen to this amazing sound effect. We got an eagle here. This is why we just kind of set up the fire model. I'm glad I explained to just shoot shots in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Worry about it. We've got a nice long straightaway section from.
All right, so this feels like a pretty good time to remind y'all of something cool we got coming up here, and not too many runs. We have the Simpsons Arcade Run, and anyone who has fond memories of that one as a kid, you might also remember that there are 4 family members in the Simpsons clan, and all of them play a little bit different. So Elrock has agreed to let us set up a bid war, decide which Simpsons family member he has to play as. And I have it on good authority that if you want to make it good for him, you pick Marge. If you want to make it bad for him, you pick Bart. So you didn't hear it from me, though.
That's good. That means I'm not going to change my choice at all. I'm not sure I knew this little hidden corner was down here. This looks like a ill-advised place to hide, but it works for the water. So yeah, we are just kind of going through this whole area, and I think at the end of this we fight. Who's Prometheus's buddy?
That's a good question. I don't remember names.
You're gonna have to look it up on the Mega Man homepage later. But there's a boss here, and there's, for some reason, all the other biometals look like, you know, handheld crystal-sized devices. Model W is a giant, like, face in the background. We did it. Also, somebody stole Model W. Shouts to Area N with this boss path to this area. But what's really going on now is our bad guy here in Serpent really wants to figure out how to use W to the fullest, and needs a little time to do that first. So we're gonna launch an assault on the city because we can do that. Oh, he's gonna do that. This ladder now exists, so we can kind of come up top and access Area O?
I believe so.
Which is another highway level. Really not too much interesting going on in this. A lot of run and jump combat over things, don't fall in the pits. Another one of these kind of boarding party bosses. We're even gonna get that like weird squid thing again. Second verse, same as the first for pretty much everything that's going on here. So, yeah. We do get the fire enemies again, too. Really, the problem in this stage ends up being just damage. It's the end game. There's just a lot of fire that's going to hurt you a lot. There's a nice server here, which if nothing else works as a health refill. I've done that too many times. So now we get damage with knockback over pits. It's an area. At the end of this, we get to fight both bosses, Prometheus and his friend again, but at the same time. But again, I did say Squid Boss is back.
Yeah, we see this guy again.
Just as annoying as the first time. Every time you hit it, it just retracts all the way back in. And, oh, I hope I can get more damage in on the next. game, please. How many of these blue patterns are we going to get here? Pass. He did it. So a lot of what we're going to see from here, though, is Model H going to work on things. That's why it's actually really important that we get some weapon refills for Model H as we go along. Make sure we're preserving that meter as much as possible. Again, we don't get anything back between stages and bosses. There's that hurricane attack that's just way too strong. That was supposed to be, you know, an intense fight of some sort. It was not. So, one more stage.
Yep, just one left to go.
You actually get to go to the boss's headquarters. Oh, yeah. We were there once already. We've been by this part of the game like 2 times. Let's get to walk in the giant door. I like when the boss, you know, is classy enough to have the chandelier set up waiting for you. Shows that they care. Also, this music. That is a good drop.
And as every Mega Man game needs, an elevator section.
I guess we did make it this far without an actual elevator. What's that one on the right doing? He's just waiting to explode. Come on. So the teleporter rooms in this game are done in pairs. I believe each one is the same element on both sides. So be careful with the meter.
So this time around, on the refight, we have access to the L biometal, which is the weakness here.
Good fight. Don't care about keeping these level 4s anymore. We've already gotten it. Don't lose it for damaging them here. And yeah, really, H is the only one we absolutely save for. The rest of them, if something happens, something happens. It's okay to be out of L. Although it's not really worth for that much life switching back to get some triple slashes in. Triple slashes still do like a good amount of damage to everything.
Right.
It's always nice when your basic starting weapon set is the backup. All right.
Course, back to more elevator here.
More elevators. Yeah, no real refills between bosses either. You're kind of stuck with whatever the game gives you in these sections. Though there is something up above if you want to risk the spikes. Water bosses. Uh-oh, we missed the shot. We're gonna get to see the big fish.
You do. Just getting that sub-tank off in time.
Oh my god. The horizontal shot, which then kind of arced up because the configuration got that last hit in. We did it.
That was clutch. Nice job, Concert.
You know what they call killing the boss with 1 hit point left? Killing the boss. So we can use that overdrive here, and again, now we don't care about excess damage on the turbine, so just go to work. Just don't get splashed. Yeah, that's what I was really waiting for here. There's the sub-tank.
Yep.
It's really easy to kind of jump into this one. This is a really kind of weird boss. Oh, you can see the spin slash is just devastating to everything in this game. The only thing with the spin slash, like, it tends to, you get that Ninja Gaiden good type effect, but very easy to tag the weak spot and ruin your biometal in the early game.
Which, thankfully, again, we don't have to worry about at this point.
Yeah. So, this section, these spikes are annoying, but in theory, this is where you're supposed to kind of just walk back and forth.
Refill a little bit.
And refill everything. Just respawn the goons and get the drops. More elevators. I don't think you can skip these elevators. I would have could you'd see it in one of the records, but no, we get to take the elevators.
For it.
Forget this is fire models. It's gotta be the fire models. I think the physical ones are last. Easy fight, easy life. These kills are kind of pretty precise. We've been kind of like just saying, oh yeah, use the overdrive. And to some extent, if you come in here and you use the overdrive, you'll be successful enough. But there's some like hidden things here, like the fact that Concer's looking left and really hitting that mole with the backswing. Like, there's little things like that in these quick kills that if you're not really kind of looking for them, if you don't know to do them, you're not going to get into too much trouble, because just using overdrive attacks by itself is devastating when it's the right element weakness. But yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into getting these kills right. And not naturally, you have a game like this where, you know, you can turn a boss fight from being a 1 minute, maybe a little bit longer marathon experience with fairly good, you know, I'm going to say casual tactics coming in here with ZX and use slashes and buster shots as appropriate. But you're going to lose a lot of time in your speedrun, because the speedrun's killing that boss in, what was that, like 2 seconds?
Maybe. It may have been faster than that.
Of course, that's not to say you can still do the speed run and have that minute fight, and that's just seconds. The more important part of the speed run is making sure that you don't get those weakness strikes when you're trying to get a biometal to actually, you know, function properly.
Especially the ones that you actually are wanting to use.
Yeah. Probably coming here and fighting the tank first, just to make sure you get the 2 hurricanes off. Monkey boss, most annoying boss. No true weakness, kind of fast. Yeah, Model H does have a triple slash as well. That there. We did it.
Not a terrible RNG pattern there, thankfully.
Still pretty good. If you're getting out of here fast enough, then you're good. That smelled like RNG manipulation. I'm not positive if it was or not.
It may have.
At this point, we are very interested in... Whoa! We're interested in not hitting the spikes.
Thankfully, able to damage boost through that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, there's a bunch of cyber elves. And it comes back after the cutscene. So, the plot of this game is that all those civilians that were in the plant are being turned into cyber elves to power W through fear and terror. Shock and horror. I guess I just spoiled everything, but oh well. So Concer's going to do a little bit of farming here. You do want a decent amount of Model H's power here, because I think you're cutting through... I'm trying to remember if you have to go through like 3 life meters or 4 life meters. Because we have to fight Serpent in this sort of like ground Sigma-esque phase, which we're gonna, because he moves around a lot, we're not going to waste the Hurricane on this. Just go to work with his triple slash. Once he's about halfway done, he gets this weird power-up state. The biggest thing that comes out of this, what's up?
Shoutouts to Charge Kick.
Shoutouts to Charge Kick. The biggest thing about that purple power-up phase where he's using his overdrive is there's a lot less time between his attacks, so you have to stay on your toes. And then we fight Garter Sigma for some reason. So yeah, just hold. I think it's hold up when you fire the giant charge shot, and you will get the Hurricane to come through here and just annihilate his... Concer's in a little bit of trouble here. I think Concer needs to get like 1 more hit point of damage in to trigger the next phase, where we can actually do damage to the second chunk of life. And we need the core to open up. These claws are a little troublesome, but you just need to hit the gem on the middle of whatever that is in the background. Come on. Open up. This might be bad. There we go. GG.
GG.
Yeah, the Hurricane will just destroy everything. You just need to have Hurricane. Oh, and this is IGT, so that smells like a PB for Conster with that reaction there.
Yep.
I think he had like a 110 something.
Yeah, I am certain this is actually a really good PB.
Shaving minutes off a game is actually pretty good.
In a marathon. Nicely done, Conster.
So I don't know who's running third, but there's been runs in the PB, so no pressure. GG to Conster. Conster, are you here, or are we throwing it back to Crunchy? Concer's just happy to get the PB. And that is very well done. That's all I have to say about this. This, again, Mega Man Z out part of the Zero collection, which, again, I think the biggest thing about that is it makes it that much more accessible to go and speedrun. Because it's using in-game time, and there's no real differences, this the collection time just goes in the leaderboard with the rest of the original release runs. So if you passed on this because it was trapped on DS, this is a great time to get it. And you get the other 4-0 games with it too. Why not?
Was I being called for? Was I being beckoning?
If you want to say anything, dude, about that sweet PB.
I was a run. Let's just say it was emotion. It was full of emotions.
I mean, we definitely saw your reactions basically throughout. So, well done.
The best I was getting in practice all week long was like 112s, 111s, 115s. The worst was like a 120.
Hey, you got the run that counts, though, so.
Yeah, a PB in a marathon.
That was pretty good, too. You got, like, the good drops, nailed, like, most of the kills. If anything, we're just going to complain about that weird snake mid-boss in Area O by the end for just eating up 30 seconds.
Yeah, he ate up too much time.
Yeah. Still good, though. Well,
Well, so
I'm done.
I'm done. You can you can tell me anytime.
All right.
I mean, you got I don't know, you got 12 minutes if you really want to just faff about. But if you got nothing else to say, then GG, Conster. Congrats on that PB.